My family forgot about my baby shower and casually said, "We didn't think it was that important." I smiled, left the group chat, and cancelled all the bills I had been paying for them. The next day, they realized no one was invited, and I asked, trying to sound normal even though I was shaking. My sister left. "Ugh, you're so sensitive," she said. "We didn't think it was that important." I stood in the kitchen, one hand on my stomach, the other holding my phone. I was 34 weeks pregnant, tired, swollen, and in pain. I had spent the past month reminding them, but they kept saying, "Don't stress, we've got you." Apparently, they didn't. I sent out my registry and invitations. I even checked the dates with them twice. "I made sure you knew," I said, now speaking calmly, the kind of calm you get when you've reached your breaking point. Mom tried to make it better from the background. "Honey, baby showers are more for first kids." "This is my first baby," I said. Silence. Then my brother Max typed in the chat, "TBH, not a huge deal, it's just a baby shower." Just a baby shower? As if I hadn't helped him with his car insurance, Mom with her mortgage, and my sister when her fiancé left her, as if I didn't matter. I looked at the chat and did the only thing I could. I smiled, left the group, and cancelled all the payments. I didn't say a word, I just stopped. The next morning, when the Wi-Fi didn't work at my sister's apartment, when Mom's phone service was cut off, and when Max couldn't log into Netflix, they panicked. I sat on my balcony, sipping tea, feeling my baby kick, and for the first time in a long time, I felt peace. To understand how we got here, you need to know that I was always the responsible one. I had a job right after college, saved up, and bought my apartment at 29. Meanwhile, Max was still crashing with friends, trying to launch a podcast, and Sophia, my older sister, struggled with her divorce. I quietly became the support for everyone because that's how they got me. It started small. "Can you cover Mom's gas bill this month?" Or "Ellie doesn't have shoes for dance." And I always said yes. They called me an angel, the strong one, and I believed it. Over time, though, it became expected. Sophia no longer thanked me. Max sent texts saying, "Yo, run it, handle it," and I did. By the time I was pregnant, I had covered Sophia's rent for 11 months, Max's phone, Mom's bills, and more. I lost track after $188,000. When I announced my pregnancy, everyone just smiled, but something felt off. They didn't care the way I needed them to. I should have known something was wrong when no one offered to host my baby shower. "We're all so busy," Sophia said. Max didn't respond. Mom suggested a Facebook post instead of a party. I bought my own decorations and made my registry. I invited them in the family chat, but no one RSVP'd. I followed up a few times. Weeks went by, and they ignored me. They were at Anna's baby shower, my cousin's third child, and posted pictures on Instagram. I wasn't invited. That night, I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I just sat with my belly and realized, they weren't just absent, they were making a point. My baby didn't matter, I didn't matter. The next day, Sophia asked for $180 for Ellie's school project, and Max asked me to fix Mom's phone bill. I didn't respond. I opened the family chat and wrote one sentence, "Thanks for making it clear where I stand." Then I left the chat and stopped paying for everything. The next morning, my phone blew up with texts. Max wanted to know why the Wi-Fi was off, and Sophia needed me to fix things. Mom called, leaving a message in her disappointed tone, "You don't punish people you love." I didn't answer. I let them sit in the silence I used to fill. 2 days later, Mom called. "We're coming over tonight, we need to talk." I could already tell they were ready to corner me. At 6:04 p.m., they arrived. Mom marched in first, Sophia tossed her purse down, and Max slouched in, acting casual, but I could feel the tension. They didn't ask how I was or if I needed anything, they just took over my living room like it was still their space. "Let's get to the point," Mom said, arms crossed. "This silent treatment and canceling payments is childish. We're shocked." "Shocked?" I raised an eyebrow. "You're shocked that I stopped paying for everything?" Max leaned forward. "Yeah, seriously, the Wi-Fi's off, my gym app is suspended. Did you cancel everything on purpose?" "Yes, Max, that was the idea." Sophia rolled her eyes. "Ugh, are you still going on about the baby shower? It's just a party." I stood up slowly, hand on my belly. "It's not about the party, it's about the fact that I'm 34 weeks pregnant, and not one of you showed up for me, not even an RSVP." Mom raised her hand like she was a judge. "We didn't mean anything by it, baby showers are for first kids." "This is my first baby," I said, "and you all knew that." They were quiet. "You didn't forget," I continued. "You made a choice, you showed up for Anna's shower, but ignored mine." Then 2 days later, Sophia sends me a Venmo request for $180, and Max asks me to fix Mom's phone. Sophia scoffed. "Don't act like a victim, you've always been generous. What now, want a cookie?" I laughed. But it wasn't nice. Let's talk about that generosity. I paid your rent for 11 months, Sophia. I covered Ellie's dance classes, school supplies, and camp, while you posted about your $60 manicures and brunches on Instagram. Sophia went red but stayed silent. And Max, I turned to him, I've paid for your phone, gym, Spotify, and more. You texted me, yo, run it, handle it, like I was your assistant, not your sister. Mom raised her voice. You're making this bigger than it is. We thought we could trust you. No, I said flatly. You thought you could use me. Max scoffed. What do you even want? A standing ovation? I leaned in. No, Max, it makes me tired. I've done so much for this family, and the first time I needed something, you couldn't even pretend to care. Sophia stood up, hands on her hips. You're so dramatic. Do you want us to cry now? Grow up. And then, someone else spoke from the corner of the room. My cousin Sarah, who had been quiet the whole time, stood up. I was on your side, Sarah said, her voice trembling a bit, but this is awful. You all treat her like a bank and then act like she's nothing when she finally sets a boundary. Everyone turned to stare at her, shocked. Sarah, don't get involved, Mom snapped. No, Sarah replied, I'm involved because I see how you've treated her. I don't want to be part of a family that punishes someone for standing up for themselves. Without saying another word, Sarah grabbed her purse and left. The room went silent. Then Mom turned back to me, her face a mix of guilt and anger. Think about your baby, she said. She needs a family. Are you really going to raise her alone without us? I looked Mom straight in the eye. Better alone than surrounded by people who only love me when I'm useful. They left that night in silence. No slammed doors, no shouting. The storm had passed, but the damage was everywhere. Max muttered something under his breath as he left, but I didn't hear it. Sophia didn't even look at me. Mom paused at the door, almost like she wanted to say something, but didn't. She walked out, and I shut the door behind them, not gently, not anymore. That night, I stood in my kitchen, holding a cup of tea against my belly. My baby kicked, then settled. The silence in the room felt like freedom. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel guilty, not for saying no, not for walking away, because I wasn't being selfish. I was protecting myself. In the next few days, things got chaotic, but not for me anymore. Day 1, silence. No texts, no calls. The family group chat was still without me. Max posted a passive-aggressive story on Instagram. When people turn their back on blood, don't be surprised when they drown alone. Sophia reshared it with 3 broken heart emojis. I didn't respond. They wanted attention. They didn't get mine. Day 3, guilt began. Mom texted first, can we talk? I didn't respond. We didn't realize how hurt you were, but you shouldn't cut us off. Still nothing. Then came her third message. The bills are piling up. Your sister can't afford Ellie's school trip. Max might lose his gym membership. I almost cracked, but I stayed silent. They were finally realizing how much my silence cost. Day 5, panic. Sophia called 5 times in 1 hour. When I didn't answer, she left a voicemail. Her voice was shaking, but not with regret. She was angry. You've made your point, okay? Are you happy? Ellie's devastated. Mom's crying every night. Max is snapping at everyone. You broke the family because of some stupid party. I listened to the message, then deleted it without a word. That evening, I got a message from Sarah. Just wanted you to know I moved out of my parents' place. I realized how toxic this all was after what I saw at your house. Thank you for standing up. You helped me see clearly. I stared at the screen, tears welling up. One by one, they were falling apart, and I was finally starting to piece myself back together. Day 7, an unexpected visitor, Kevin, Sophia's ex and Ellie's dad. We hadn't talked in months, but there he was, standing at my door with a box of baby clothes. I heard, he said. Ellie told me everything. She's not okay. He paused. You were the only one who truly cared about her future, so, these are from me and from Ellie. She picked the onesies. I bit my lip, trying not to cry. Thank you, I whispered. Kevin gave me a long look before speaking again. You know, if you ever need anything, really, I'm here. Sophia's not doing well. She lost her job last week and blamed HR, but deep down, I think she knows it's her fault. I said nothing. I didn't feel joy or vengeance. I felt relief. They were facing consequences, and I didn't have to do anything. 2 weeks later, collapse. Mom called again. I let it ring. Then she left a voicemail. Your brother's behind on rent. Sophia's car got towed. We can't get into her dance recital. I don't know what to do anymore. She paused. Please just tell me what we did so wrong. Why are you doing this to us? I listened, then replayed the message, and then I deleted it. I wasn't doing anything to them. They did it to themselves. That same week, I got a card in the mail. No return address. Inside was a note in messy handwriting. I miss you. Mom says you're mad forever. But I remember the pancakes and how you came to my school play. I hope the baby is nice. Love, Ellie. I sat on the floor, holding the card close, and cried harder than I had in months, not because I regretted my choice, but because Ellie was the only innocent one in this whole mess. The final blow, 3 weeks after the showdown. I got a message from an unknown number. It was Sophia. Her tone was different, quiet, almost broken. I messed up. I ruined everything, and you were the only one who really helped. I know I said things I can't take back, but I'm sorry. There was no manipulation, no guilt, just honesty, but it was too late. I didn't reply. I finally understood, forgiveness isn't something you owe, especially when the damage is still there. In the weeks that followed, things started feeling lighter. The registry that had only 2 items claimed? Suddenly, anonymous gifts were showing up: diapers, onesies, a new baby monitor. My friend Mia threw me a small shower with just 6 people, and it was perfect. No fake smiles, no judgment, just people who actually showed up for me. And me? I started to feel human again. Not a bank, not a safety net, not an invisible daughter, just me, a soon-to-be mother, whole on my own terms. It's been 8 weeks since I walked away from my family's life. Actually, it's been 8 weeks since I walked away from the role they gave me, the bank, the savior, the emotional punching bag. And here's the twist no one saw coming: I'm not falling apart, I'm thriving. I wake up now without the weight on my chest, no buzzing phones with guilt-laden texts, no spreadsheets in my head about who needs what covered, no quiet panic about whether I'll have enough for diapers or someone else's overdue Wi-Fi bill. It's just me, my baby bump, and a sense of peace I never thought I'd taste. It's strange, honestly, to live in silence after years of obligation. For a while, I kept waiting for the guilt to hit. You know, that voice that says, maybe you were too harsh, maybe you could have handled it better, but it never came, because the truth is, I handled it perfectly. I spoke the truth, I set a boundary, and they proved exactly why that boundary was needed. Sophia still tries now and then. She'll send vague messages like, hope you're doing okay, or Ellie misses you, but I don't reply. I don't punish her, I just don't engage. Because I've learned something they never wanted me to know: not responding is a response. Silence is power. Boundaries are not cruelty, they're survival. Max? He's gone full victim mode online. He posted a long rant last week about fake family and how money changes people. It got 2 likes, one from Sophia, one from Mom. I didn't laugh. I pitied him, because without me, he's had to face himself, and honestly, that's the scariest mirror he'll ever look into. Mom stopped calling altogether. She finally understood that I wasn't coming back. Not to the group chat, not to their table, not to the unspoken contract that I owe them for being born. Funny, isn't it? They raised me to believe I was the selfish one, but when the money stopped, so did their version of love. Makes you think. I've started building my own version of family. Mia, my best friend, comes over twice a week to help me prep the nursery. Sarah, yes, Sarah, texts me daily just to check in. She sends memes, baby name ideas, and reminders to drink water. Kevin brought over Ellie's favorite stuffed animal just in case the baby likes it too. He said it was Ellie's idea. I believe him. And me? I'm still me, but more whole, more honest, more mine. The other night, I stood in the middle of the nursery. The crib was built. The mobile was spinning slowly, soft clouds and sleepy moons. The light was warm, golden. And for the first time in my entire life, I felt something wild. I felt safe, not because someone promised to protect me, not because I had backup, but because I had myself. I've walked through fire. I've been told I'm too much, too selfish, too cold. I've been used, guilt, erased, and I survived. Better yet, I stopped apologizing for it. If my daughter ever asks me about my family one day, I'll tell her the truth, that blood is not always love, that kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction, and that being the strong one doesn't mean being the sacrificial lamb. And I'll tell her this: you are never required to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. You are not responsible for making others comfortable at your own expense. You are allowed to say no even to the people who raised you. I'll raise her with a spine and a heart, with compassion, but not compliance, with warmth, but not servitude, because if there's one thing I want her to learn, it's this: never be afraid to choose yourself, even if it means standing alone. I used to think walking away would make me the villain, that they'd spin stories about how I abandoned them, and maybe they have. Let them, because if choosing peace, protecting my child, and breaking generational patterns makes me the villain in their story, then maybe I was never meant to be the hero.